Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with three S's. I'm your host here, Chantele Francis, for a crossover event today with Couch Potato Queens. We have Josh joining us. How are you doing, Josh, representing Canada today from the United States?
Chantele, I'm so excited to be here. I'm excited to really watch BB Can all the way through live. I didn't do it last season, but I'm ready to do it and cover the eviction episodes we're going to be doing as well on CPQ. So it'll be fun.
Great to hear. It's nice to have more coverage and have more people that are following Big Brother Canada because Jonathan and myself are both Canadians and we are supportive of this whole series, this whole franchise. So it's really nice to know that we're getting some more recognition from our American folks down south. So how are you doing today, Jonathan? I haven't seen you in a while, haven't spoken to you about Big Brother in a bit. So
No,
what's going on?
I've been so busy. I also brought a special guest. This is Theo, one of several of my animals. But yeah, it's been busy. It's been great. And you know what? I've been playing some online games recently with a lot of Americans, and they all watch Big Brother Canada. They were all very excited for it, and I was actually really surprised. So I'm glad that it has that international appeal to it.
I think so, and I also think the fact that, Celebrity Big Brother was such a flop, sorry, that, like, people are just craving decent, at least decent Big Brother content, and so I think that Big Brother Canada is going to deliver, and the premiere was a really fun start. What did you think about the premiere, Josh?
I loved it. I thought it was a great premiere. I like the theme. I like the game show thing. I'm always big into different colors, and I like that the color scheme of the house, and the theme of it. So this cast is great. I think everyone is a really big personality. Even the people that I don't necessarily like, they're still good personalities for the show. So I'm optimistic about it. Great premiere.
Yes, it was a great premiere, and I watched with JoJo live. So Andrew from Big Brother Canada 6 was hosting a live event downtown Toronto, and so we both went and watched. And it was actually really fun. You might know Shari from season, I believe it was 4, Jonathan. 3?
Mm.
Oh yeah, you just watched them. That's true. So she was there as well. So we hung out with her a little bit. And it was just really nice to see a bunch of Big Brother fans coming together to watch in like a little bit of a social atmosphere. So I'm ready to dissect this premiere episode and then obviously tonight's first eviction episode. We do have some friends hanging out with us. Hi, Maureen. Thank you for joining us. Hello, Logan. Ooh, you're all gorgeous and amazing. Hope you enjoyed the premiere. I definitely enjoyed it. So let's blow through this. So it started off with an icon of a decade of icons, and I really love that. So Josh, how was that for you? Seeing it's so extra and over the top. It's really Canadian because even Arisa was saying man, we're so extra, but it's fun for me.
Are we talking about the flashback of moments from past seasons?
Yeah, exactly. Right at the
My
beginning of the
favorite
premiere.
moment from past seasons, I don't think anything beats Ika and Netta like that.
Oh,
The season 5 double eviction episode, that is iconic. That is the moment of Big Brother Canada in my mind. When I think BB Canada, I think of Ika. It's all Ika moments. It's Ika with the letters in season 2. We got John Party evicting Netta in season 2, and we got the moment in season 5. Those are my moments. So.
those are pretty good moments. Do you have any to add with some of the hits from the last 10 years, Jonathan?
You know me and my memory. Not great. I let's say anything with Sarah because she was my favorite. She's my favorite the whole way through. So I mean, yeah, I don't think I have any specific ones outside of those Ica moments. And maybe some Gary Glitter moments, perhaps.
When he had to
Yeah.
stay awake, poor guy. Oh my God, no! Actually, the Topaz moment. What, you change it on me? That's a pretty iconic moment too. I was like, come on, Canada, you had to screw this up, Topaz, man. Definitely love though just the throwback that it didn't seem like Big Brother US did a lot of throwbacks in the most recent season. Like the most recent All Stars didn't really have that many throwbacks to previous years, and so it was really nice to see that they kind of paid attention to the fact that it's 10 years, it's been on the air, and it seems like what they're going to be doing is, you know, having competitions and reminders of different things from past seasons. So I love that it's going to have a lot of throwbacks. So it's going to be called The Greatest Game Show. Do you think that this is the greatest game show? I do. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, like I like the theme of it. It's a little, we were talking about it earlier. It's a little bit clashy to me though. I mean, I love game shows. Um, Gary Glitter should be brought back if it's game show themed because I feel like it fits right in. So yeah, I wonder if how much of a throwback we're going to get with throughout the season. I wonder if there's special appearances.
Well,
by
with
people.
so far every episode, we've had a little bit of a throwback, and we're going to get to them. So obviously, Arisa looked dazzling in a sparkly purple dress. And the first four are going to be Summer, Gino, JC, and Josh. So, Jonathan, I know that you didn't do any, cast assessments or anything like that. So, what do you think of the first four that were coming in? Do you remember any of them?
Well, Gino obviously stands out. And yeah, I mean, I just remember from that we saw a little bit later on that they're kind of like toying and playing with like the first four an alliance, perhaps, and things like that, which is always, I mean, smart to do. But yeah, I like them overall. It takes me a while to really kind of catch on to who's who. That everyone just kind of blends together at first. So I let it speak to me and just like see who like really kind of comes across. But I definitely think Gino out of the four of them is going to be the biggest player slash go the farthest perhaps this season. I mean, he just stands out way beyond the other ones for me right now in the first group.
I disagree on that. I think that Josh has the highest chance of making it far in this game. I think he's also a fellow gay. Okay, love him. I didn't know that. Okay, I thought that it was just our non-binary contestant this season. Love them as well. But I think Josh has a lot of game in him, and I think Josh has a lot of potential to go far based on what I'm seeing. And like when we get into the episode, we can talk about it a little bit more. But I think Josh is someone to watch this season of those four.
Well, I agree with both of you. I think that everybody in the first four, the first group of people, are the people that the production likes the most and wants to do the best and setting them up for success. They have the most time together. They have the opportunity to make that first four alliance. They want to have a showmance with JC and Gino happen. And so they kind of put the perfect scenario for all those four people to do well, I would say.
I actually think it's like unfair. I'm like, they should have everyone enter the house at the same time because, it's this staggered kind of, I get it. It's like you want to know certain people first, but I think that could be done in editing rather than actually putting them in a staggered way because I do think it's unfair for everyone. So.
It is, especially if if production has an ulterior motive. And so I think that they do. Like, I think that they love Summer. They love her story about getting on the show because she wants to be petty with her coworker. And they want this showmance to happen with Gino and Jacey-Lynne. And Josh is like all around like very handsome. He represents a lot of different communities, and so he's a great representation of a potential of a house guest. So I think that these are the people that they want to push furthest forward of production. That's my guess.
Absolutely. And Gino, he's a good
so
man.
We do hear that they were isolated for over 2 weeks, and we also hear that they made a final four alliance right off the bat. So Josh, do you think that this alliance is going to stick for longer than that episode?
I mean, in the past of Big Brother Canada, some of them have stuck and some of them have not. But I'm going to guess with a no, that's not going to last. It's probably not by now.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
the
even
name
when
Honey Bunch?
Yeah, even when they're in the bathroom, they were kind of like, maybe we should like see everyone else first. But I mean, it's something that you can fall back on, which is an easy kind of, thing to rely on if needed. So.
Especially if any of them got power, they'd be like, final four, right? Like Honey Bunch. They'd be super like into that alliance. So I think it was just securing themselves in case any of them got any power, just to like, I mean, I'd make an alliance right away. Absolutely. 100%. So group number 2 was Tanisha, Stephanie, Kyle, and Jay. Jonathan, do you remember all the shenanigans going on about Kyle?
Well, I know Kyle was from has the same name, and everyone thought that he was being cast last season, right? Like that's what's
Correct.
going on. I did hear about that.
Mhm.
And then we did see later on him, being kind of recognized or didn't, so that was funny. But yeah, I mean, I do remember some of it. If I was him, I would not mention it at all. I mean, I
Nope.
hope that I haven't seen. I don't know when the live starts or anything like that, but I have not seen
Right.
anything or heard anything. But yeah, I would not mention it. I would just keep that absolutely forget about it. And I know that he's friends with hasn't he been
Moose.
on
Well,
just
oh,
Robin
sorry. So
podcast
he's
and
played Among Us with Taryn
mm,
and crew. They were doing that. They still do it on Sundays.
right.
And so yeah, so he definitely has been brought into the world a little bit, but he wasn't a fan of the game at all. And I believe he's also the youngest contestant. So I'm not
Got
sure
it.
how well that's going to bode for him. Are we going to
But
say Josh?
charming,
Mm.
I
no?
I hope that Kyle does well. I think he has it in him to do well with his communication skills of being a podcaster. I think he could do very well and really stay under the radar the first half and really get to know people. Hopefully he does, because I'm rooting for him. I think he'd be a good player in this game. So we'll see what
I mean,
happens.
I'm not rooting for anyone that hasn't been trying for the last 10 years to get on the show. Like it's too annoying for me that he basically has the same name of some basic person and then everybody's like, "We want you on the show." And then he gets on the show when there's people that have been trying for 10 years that have been really wanting to participate in it. So, I mean, obviously I think it's fun that Twitter basically got someone cast, but as a super fan that would love to participate in the show, I'm kind of you got it. So that's just my personal qualms about it, but I understand wanting to root for him for sure.
I also really like Tanisha a lot.
I like Tanisha. She didn't really do that much for me these 2 episodes, but I definitely like her. I want to see more for sure.
Yeah.
Maureen, I don't know if Stephanie's really that dumb or is acting. I think she might
Mm,
be
I
that
think
dumb.
I think so.
Yeah, she's actually that
I
dumb.
mean, let's not, maybe not dumb, just
Unaware?
inexperienced with education. I don't like.
Geography?
That was a really good way
mm,
of saying it. I'm impressed with that answer.
I agree with you, Jelly Donut. It was a crime that Summer got no confessionals, and there was no confessionals on the premiere episode, which I thought was also a crime. So I saw that when Summer comes in and when Tanisha comes in, Summer was already there and she was like, "Ooh, curly girls, curly haired girls." And so it wasn't like, let's make an alliance, but I loved how Summer was kind of immediately finding a connection with certain people. So she will be able to talk about hair or whatever with Tanisha. And I like the fact that, she's just building a little mini bond with certain people and connecting. So I want to watch to see her play a little bit more to see if she continues to do that with more people, because I thought that was a very smart and slick.
Yeah.
So, Summer and Jay run into the telephone room, and this is the room which is the throwback because we do happen later in the premiere episode where the phone rings. And in season 1, we have Suzette that goes and picks up that phone, and she becomes an instant head of household. So, when I saw that phone, go ahead.
I was gonna say, would you have answered the phone? Would you? I would have
No,
thrown people
I,
aside
I would.
and
I'd be like,
I would have.
I hear
Really?
nothing. I hear
I know I
nothing.
would have gone for it. I absolutely
You
would
would
have. I
have?
know. Oh yeah, I would. I would think that there's going to be a lot happening, and I'm like, I'm here. I might be voted out week 1 anyway. Let's just go for it. Whatever it may be, right? Sure.
But it could
Yeah.
have been a punishment though. So who knows what I would have been nervous. I'd have been
And people
to my
feel
favorite
sorry.
person, be like, you get it.
So as Chantele, as you know, I'm an international Big Brother love of all the countries. Like the UK version, they did have a hot phone or they did have something, and it was like this person come to the diary room, and that season they got punished and had to get themselves nominated, or they would
I
automatically
remember
be
that.
nominated. And if they got nominated, they were safe for the week. So yeah, it could be a punishment or a task or something, which is very UK when it was on. But in Canada, I would have picked up that phone in a second. Like,
But
And,
let's.
and
oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, even if it's a punishment, you can play from that. I think with Big Brother, you can play from the bottom. I think you can, as long as your social game is there, you can seem, not strong as far as competitions. You can seem more vulnerable than others. I don't mind having some sort of disadvantage in the game as long as your social is really strong. You
Mhm.
can overcome that, and you will not be a threat, when it matters. So I don't mind that at all.
Well, I definitely think getting the first head of household can be really good for the fact that you get to set up the board, you get to start making alliances, people are going to be
Yes.
coming to you with information. So it could be a really advantageous spot, but a lot of first head of household people don't go on to win the game. And
Well, like
so I'm but,
Cody, Misha, like we've seen it lately.
Lisa.
but
Yeah,
with that's like the worst examples of people.
but it's happened. It's happened.
First HOH, well, Tyler making it far. First HOH, there's always this thing about if you win the first HOH, it's bad for your game. The only time I have seen HOH be bad for someone's game was Frenchie. That's the only time I've seen it.
It happens all the time where it's like
One of
they
the
go out the next
Jesse,
round.
It's an opportunity. I don't think it's good or bad. I think it's an
yeah,
opportunity. And if you handled it incorrectly, you will Frenchie yourself out of this game. But if
yeah,
you handle it correctly, it can really put you forward and in a great position. So I
yeah.
think it can go
It
either way.
can, but I guess my point is that um depending on who you're playing with in the house, it could be really hard to kind of pull yourself out of that. Because it seems to me, from my perspective of these players, nobody's
Mm.
actually really that good at that game. And so I feel like people would be, they might not, they would take it harshly, and it would be very hard for them to be think of it on the same kind of strategic level as any of us three would, because they're all seemingly from right now playing really emotionally, and it just wouldn't work for me. So in this particular house configuration, I don't think I want to have the first power there.
Especially Queen. What's the? Oh, yeah, she and they. But Queen Jess is everything, and we'll get to that, I'm sure. But like, she is so playing an emotional game, and I'm like so here for it.
Man, I can't wait to get to the next episode. Okay, so let's finish this one off. So we have Betty comes into the house. Her nickname is Business B and B Money. Will you call her either of these names? Business
I already
B,
was.
B Money.
I already was. I don't know
Yes.
why, but I was. I was like,
Which one? B Money?
I mean, probably all of them. I was just yelling back at the TV for some reason. I'm like, oh, it works. Yeah, it was a little, I don't know, it was a little endearing to me. So
Okay, you're into B Money.
I'm into it.
Absolutely. Let's go. What about Moose? Do we like Moose? Because I
I don't,
find him really annoying.
Mm,
Okay.
and
I don't
him,
like
yeah,
Moose.
he goes very
Well, it's funny because not to skip ahead, but when Moose and Jess were having a conversation, I was uncertain who the person that I was supposed to dislike was out of that conversation, and so it really, and then when then I realized it was supposed to be Jess, I was like, oh, for me, it's actually more Moose than it is
Yeah,
Jess.
absolutely.
Not a fan. Not a fan.
I mean, I want to be a fan because, he's lively, but then I'm like, he is on all the time in a way that it's just too performative. Like,
Yeah.
there's no way that that's your real personality. Like, I need to see the real you, but it could also be because you're super young and really excited. Kind of like what Jelly Donut's saying here, low key giving her JD from Survivor 41 vibes,
Like,
excited to be there.
but JD was like likable to me. Although like
But he was
not doing
annoying.
a good not no to me, JD was likable, not doing a good job, but was just like you could just tell super eager, and I felt for that. Whereas Moose is just I wouldn't get along with Moose in person, so I don't think.
I'm gonna call this now. Moose is gonna be that like fourth or fifth boot pre-jury that's gonna go out right before. That's what I think.
He would be an easy person to I mean, maybe Herman is gonna be like, we gotta keep Moose, but like I don't know if he's gonna be able to build the connections with people that are gonna want to keep him you know, like strongly. I don't see that at all. I
Like
agree.
I could see Moose being in like a Latoya situation. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like in
Mm,
that kind of placement where it's like your
hmm
personality is is strong that it stands out, and when the other side wins, they're going to go after you, perhaps. So I see what Josh
Hmm.
is saying. Yeah.
So we also see Helena and Kevin. So what did you think of? What are you going to say?
I love Helena. I love her. I
Really?
know people are going to be annoyed of her. I live for people like that. And she's like all over the place. You know, she's going to have a breakdown. It's going to be great. I am here for the entertainment. I hope she is like she kind of reminds me of like the Tala of the season, like Tala from
Oh,
season one.
maybe.
Like she's not gonna know how to play the game. But she could make it far. I could see Helena making it to like 4th or 5th place. I could see it. Like she has that in her.
But is Helena
Oh,
going to?
Jojo. Jojo will be back next week. It's okay.
I'm
She,
JoJo today. No.
yes, Jonathan is Jojo.
Helena, I like. I don't know if Helena's going to win anything, but it's kind of like yeah. There's just something very relatable at the same time.
There is. I totally was liking her and her bubbliness on Walking Talking Disaster. Agreed. But I'm wondering if she might get on my nerves at one point because it's just kind of like I'm not usually a big fan of ditzy. Like I like people to be kind of like straight and smart. And so
Mhm.
like we'll see how she is when she settles in if I can vibe with her, but she might be a little bit too much for me. Just for me. Okay, so yeah, and she breaks the glass when she sat down at the table. I'm like, girl, bro, break a glass. This could be People could be like, oh, she's annoying. We have to clean up her mess.
When
But I do like
when
when she
when
goes, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say when someone's more of a hot mess than I am, I'm like, yes. I'm like, you're gonna make me look good, so this is great. Let's keep you around.
She
It's like a
tripped
Nikki
walking in.
Graham.
Pardon?
Nikki Graham who is now rest in peace.
Oh
She
yeah,
passed away. We love Nikki. Kind of
well,
like a Nikki character. Like it's going to just be like maybe like the Nikki Graham of Canada.
I don't
entertaining.
think that she's Nikki Graham styles, personally.
No, Nikki's like extreme in emotional like
Yes.
ways, and so I don't see her being that, but maybe like a little bit of like that comic relief element
Yes,
because
that's what I
More,
was
more
going.
tall. I would say more Tala. I think Tala was a better call on her personality,
Paula.
and I had to warm up to Tala. So Tala, I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh my god!" Like, okay, and then like I started to be like, "Okay, do you know what? Like, I like you. You're like your quirkiness. I'm buying into it now. Like, I'm into you." But in the beginning, I was just like, "Oh my goodness, you're a bit
Yeah.
much." So I think that she might be a slow burn for me.
Yeah.
So I love that something that we do in Canada, and it's been very prominent in every show that I've worked on recently, where there's a land acknowledgement. So what did you think as an American to hear the land acknowledgement from Arisa after the commercial break?
So is that the acknowledgement to like I guess the Native Americans
Canada,
for
yeah,
Canada?
indigenous.
basically all of
Yeah.
Canada. Hmm.
That's really cool. Is that like a now thing that they're trying to incorporate in Canada? Because I love that.
They definitely do it on global. I was in a play a couple years ago, and we had before every single play,
I
JoJo
love
before every single performance he had at a play, they always have a land acknowledgement. So it's definitely something in the last, we'll say 5 years, it's pretty
Yeah.
prominent. Go
There's a
ahead.
push for representation and acknowledgement to Canada's history and the land that we're on, and that whole everything about it. So
So
um, it is more of a thing
so
lately. And
this is new for me. Like I'm learning this. What do you refer to like the Native Canadians? What are they called? Is it Aboriginal or that's
indigenous,
No, indigenous.
Indigenous? That's
indigenous is the most correct term. Yeah,
okay.
that we
Indigenous.
use when we yeah.
That's awesome. I love that.
So did we think that Marty is the party Marty? He was the next coming in. Do you think he's going to do well?
Hmm.
I don't know.
He didn't seem
So
fun to me for his name to be Marty Party or the Marty Party or Party the
I'm
Marty,
always here.
whatever it was.
I'm always
Not
here for
fun.
a daddy. I'm always here for a daddy. Okay, but like
He's not a
not.
daddy.
He's a little bit. He's a little
He's a
dad.
father. He's a father.
He's a
That's
father, but he's not like a dad.
He's not a daddy.
Okay.
Yeah, he's like a very like that party. Like, how would you describe his party? He's like a if like
Oh,
I
it's
could
a
see him having
beer.
yeah, like it's just not my thing, but I think I would get along with him in the house, but at the same time, I just I'm surprised he's cast. Like other than the older, but I mean, there's a million older people. It's being slightly older than the average person there. It's just like I don't know what was special about him. I couldn't really pinpoint it. That they were like, oh yes, you,
It's because he's French. He has a French accent, and he's
and
French is
because
his first language.
yeah, he's from
Acadian.
the East Coast, so it's like the
Hmm.
first. And people who don't know what that is, that's when the first French that kind of landed in Canada, and they kind of set up in the East Coast. And he's a proud representation of that. And I get it, and that's probably why. But personality wise, I just didn't really see it.
Is that Nova Scotia area?
That
It's yeah,
side of things,
Yeah.
yeah.
but
Awesome.
not Nova Scotia.
There's
A little more north.
there's so much diversity in Canada. Like, there really is. There's a lot of diversity because I mean, you have like the French Canadians. It just depends. I think like the territories is different. I don't
It,
know. I'm talking
it,
like
it is in America too. We just acknowledge it up here a little bit more. Claim it
And
all
it's
as
we're
still
our
not
own.
going to deny our country at all, but us Americans know about America. I will tell you, the Canadians know more about the United States than U.S. citizens. I
we
know
learn
this.
about your history as well as our
We
own.
should learn about yours. I'm going to start this. All Americans need to learn all about Canada. Okay.
Should definitely. Yes.
Know your history.
So
It's important. Yeah.
Marty, Jess, Herman, and Molina are in the final group. So I feel like this is the group that's just like, let's see if you could fend for yourself. Like, I don't think that they had any hope for these people to do well.
Throwing them to the wolves, being in that last
Right?
group there. It's like not even fair.
Like, really not fair. And the type of personalities of these people, it's not fair. Marty, the oldest man in the house, who also it's English as his second language, like him in the last group where he's going to be meeting a whole bunch of different people, like so unfair.
I just feel bad for all of them. Like I don't think they got a fair shot. Especially that poor Molina girl. Like she went into it being like, I don't talk to people. I don't suck up to people at all. I just say what I want to say. Poor
So
girl.
frustrating though, because so Molina is Michelle, who hosts on this podcast all the time. It's her tattoo artist, and so she's like super rooting for her, and she's done 2 of her tattoos and spent so much time with her, and she's like, oh my god, she's like the coolest girl ever. Like I want to see her play. She hasn't watched
And
it yet.
and
She's like,
and
I'm watching at 10. I can't wait. I was like, ooh.
and skipping ahead a little bit, Molina seems to be really socially aware of the dynamics within the house rather quickly. So I'm like, that's so important too, because some people are never catch on to things. So
Absolutely.
it's yeah, I would have liked to have seen Molina come in like group one. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
I think she had a
Absolutely. If
lot
she
of
came in group
potential.
1, she might have had a better chance with her game, just because she would have just a little bit of longer time just to have. I don't think she likes chit chat, but like she would be forced to talk to people for a little bit longer before you get right into the game. So some of them do intros. Not everybody did any intros. Moose's intro was a little bit weird because he was saying that he's from, like he was saying like holler to the West Coast, but he's from like the Midwest. Like it was quite strange that he called out the West Coast, and people made a face, which I thought was interesting. Um, your guy Gino didn't really say much. He just says, "Yeah, my name is Gino, and I'm 28."
Gino doesn't need to say much.
He doesn't
Gino,
even talk.
I think he's
Gino
cute.
just needs to stand there.
His muscles and tattoos speak for himself. Just
Very
artwork.
cute. He's so hunky. And so Rissa tells him all to go upstairs to get these gifts, and then we get the phone call ring, and it's Jay that goes and answers the phone, but it would be Jonathan that goes and answers that phone if he was in the house. Would you be faster than the Flash?
I would have jumped over the rails and landed on the couch down there.
Like a cat?
I'm like you. I would be evicted from pushing other people down the stairs. Because I would try my darndest to get there quick. Yeah.
I'm happy it was Jay though. I like them a lot. They are awesome and
I
cute
like them
as well.
too. And I love their style. It's fun to watch people that have really, really eclectic, eccentric style. And so I'm going to be very fascinated by what their wardrobe that they brought. So it's very
Yeah.
exciting. So Jay answers the phone. They get safety for the week, and they are not able to compete in the head of household competition. So all the clothes though that everybody received, the gifts, were all these 70s styles clothes, and the head of household competition was going to be 3 different parts. So Jonathan, you are, I would say, would be the competition expert. What do you think about having 3 different ones? So 3 groups of, I guess, 5, and kind of testing different things for the first head of household competition.
Yeah, I really liked it because it's not, it gives you a little bit of everything. It is reminiscent of certain game shows as well, which again, huge fan of game shows and in general, like especially throwback to like the Game Show Network and classics from like 60s, 70s, and 80s. And so yeah, I liked that we were able to have a variety given to us as your first kind of real competition. So I was very happy about that.
Josh, you're going to say something?
Yeah, I didn't like that. I felt like, and maybe both of you will disagree with me on. I didn't feel like it was fair to women. I thought it was more fair, like fair to the men. And I think that they should have split them up like the U.S. does in 2 groups of groups of 4 and 2, or 2. Sorry, because we have 2 non-binary contestants. Maybe like 2 like feminine facing groups of 4 and 2 masculine facing groups of 4. I think that would have been more fair. I think that there were a couple of them that I think were really geared towards men. And the US has made this mistake as well. I think it was a little unfair. I don't know if anyone agrees with me on that, but that's how I
Well,
felt
the
watching.
only I didn't really find that it was unfair that way. How I thought it was unfair was the first comp was a puzzle, so it didn't seem like anybody in that group wanted it. Gino was like,
Yeah.
like he did not want to win that one. It seemed he was avoiding winning that. It's Jacey-Lynne seemed to be very confused by putting this door puzzle together. Herman was the only person that actually was able to get through, and he was going to be advancing to the door prize round. But then the second comp was answering questions about what they've experienced so far in the game. But then they had to knock people out. And I thought that was an unfair advantage, that they had to kind of make some bad blood between,
I love
potentially with
that.
people
Show your cards already, but
early.
based on first
But not
impression.
everybody having that opportunity, which is why I thought it was just a little bit unbalanced.
I meant that it was just maybe it wasn't the challenges. It was more so that like I don't know. I wish the groups would have been separated, like how they do it how they've done in the U.S. the last couple of seasons. I think that would have been more fair because all of them had to pick a door or whatnot. But maybe not the challenges as much as just like how they broke up the groups. In my
Because
opinion,
the puzzle and guy, girl, or in between could have won. Same
yeah,
with the questions.
yeah,
I don't really see that there was like, like normally I get it when there's like a wall situation where you have to hang on.
yeah,
That's geared towards smaller individuals
yeah,
physically. So I don't mind as much as long as like the whole season or like
yeah.
the first quarter or half of a season isn't all of something.
Sure, yes,
Mhm.
There's going to be things that are going to be for you or against you. I thought they were pretty fair overall, as far as like what was available, and I did catch how they were divided up. Actually, I didn't. I maybe I missed that. So like I don't know how they were sorted out, and I actually feel like the editing overall in the first couple episodes has been really like. I feel like I'm missing
Cast.
something as I'm watching
Well,
it.
yeah,
there's too much going on, right? Because basically they had all these things that need to be shown. Like they did show everybody's intro videos that we've already seen, and then we had to show them, sitting around the couch. But only 7 people said what where they're
It's just
from and their names and stuff like
yeah,
that. And then okay, now we're going upstairs, and now there's a phone call, and then now they're doing the head of household, and you know what I mean. So there was just a lot of
like
things that they're putting together.
when you're like in a theater and you like go to the washroom, you come back 5 minutes later, and you're like trying to piece it together. Like the whole kind of couple episodes have felt like that to me. I'm like, what am I missing? I'm like,
yeah,
the editing's a little off for me. Yeah.
It's because it's just too fast paced for what we're used to with Big Brother, right? Like
yeah.
this would be like 5 episodes worth of content.
I wish it was like an hour and a half premiere and not an hour. Like
Agreed.
I feel like they
Agreed.
rushed through it.
Yeah.
So the 3 people that advanced from their competitions was Josh, Moose and Herman. Josh and Moose end up receiving safety from Bel Air Direct, and Herman was the head of household. I love the fact that in episode 2, we find out that Herman wasn't happy about being head of household. I was happy about that because I think that this is going to work poorly for Herman. Do you think?
Yeah.
You know, it was going to be the middle door. Like, of course, it was going to be the middle door.
It was the right door. It was the door on the right.
Was it not the middle door?
No, it wasn't the middle door.
Oh, I
No,
thought it was
it's
the middle door.
middle
I was like,
door.
why are you picking the middle door? Because I thought he was seemingly trying to avoid it as well. And okay, so
He was, and he chose
that
the
changes
right
my
door,
opinion
but
then.
Moose
It
picked the
changes
middle
my
door.
opinion. That changes my opinion then. Okay, then you're good. You're good.
Because I don't think that he was the best person, in my opinion, to be the first head of household. I think that
Well,
I don't think it's
he
going to be
had
doing
like
well.
a really good position in the house, and I don't think he needed it. So yeah, I totally see why he doesn't want to be the HOH.
Hmm. The diary room is a bit intense. I found. I was like, "Oh, this is the." I didn't even realize it was the diary room because it had all those colorful background. I'm not sure if I can get used to that. What do you think, Josh?
Of the diary room,
Mhm.
you said, I like it. I think it's fun this season. I like the hallway before it. It kind of looks like it's like it looks narrow, just like how it is. Like, I love it. I think it's fun. I like the whole setup.
I mean, the set it's just such an eyesore, but I don't like
Mm,
you're gonna be awake
Perfect.
whenever you go to do a diary room
yeah.
confessional.
I don't overall love the set of Big Brother Canada. I feel like it's always seeming like a stage, whereas like it's a house. And the
Yeah.
American version seems like a house to me with a, appropriate backyard and
Mhm.
whatever else. The Canadian one is all I mean, it's also done in winter, but it's like, it's seems very much like a stage. It seems like very clashy. Like when Big Brother did the neon last year, or whatever, did the neon signage and whatever. I thought that was very clean yet colorful. I like that more than this year myself, but it's a little too busy. A little too busy.
Agreed, Madame Caliente. Definitely way better. I'm enjoying it way better so far.
Yeah, I'm
Totally agree
just
here.
still waiting for Todrick to own everything he said, but it's
He's never
apparently
going to
not.
do that. That's not happening. So we see Herman's head of household room. We'd already seen obviously all the rooms, so it wasn't that exciting for me. I'm curious if they're going to change it up a little bit for each new head of household, or if that's just like a thing of the past, and we'll never get like a variation of the head of household's rooms. He didn't get a letter though, right? I don't remember a letter
I don't think so.
or like a video message. No, nothing.
I don't think so.
What about Wendy's? Yeah, we didn't get a Wendy's. Like, what's going on?
No.
Y'all in Canada get Wendy's. Like, I'm jealous. Like, they in the US, they just get, whatever the food that they want in the fridge. Y'all get
It's
Wendy's.
a sponsor. That's
There's
basically
so
it.
many. We can't afford not to have 10,000 sponsors. So let's roll with it.
Basically what the deal is. So Jess was talking about how they found that food is one of Earth's pleasures. And Moose was kind of against that, but how Jessica was responding, they were really clashing. So just Jonathan, you were kind of mentioning this little scene beforehand. So you were team Jess here. And
I mean, I could
Me too.
see how Jess's personality is very seemingly abrupt. I respond to that. So
I'm
I don't
into it
mind
too.
that. I don't mind that at all. And I definitely could see me teaming up with them. But especially when like they were having the conversation with Moose, I just thought it was funny because that kind of juxtaposition, I was like, oh, these two people aren't in the same kind of, they would never kind of normally have this conversation together, and they're just two very different people. So
Mhm.
yeah, and I didn't know which one I was supposed to like and which one I wasn't supposed to like. So
I was liking Jess. I felt that they were in the
same.
right, and I thought Moose was overreacting. And then, so we see later that I was like, oh, Moose is going to be targeting her for sure. And little did you know that he goes up to Herman and was like, Jess has got to go. And so he names, who was it? Jess, Helena, Kevin, and Molina as the 4 people that nobody would care about going on the block. What do you guys think about who Moose, and I think Josh was in the room talking to Herman as well, the people that all have safety? What do you think about their suggestions for nominees?
The boys you're talking about?
Mhm.
I they were bringing up Jess, right? That's the one that they brought up.
They brought Helena, Kevin,
Helena.
Jess, and Molina up.
Yeah, I mean, Molina, I'm not surprised. Like, Jess and Molina, not surprised that they got brought up. Kevin actually did surprise me because I think he was kind of under the radar that first little bit, even though he's like this big master player, like Peter Brown or whatnot, like trying to be that person. But they aren't seeing it yet. So it's interesting how they're kind of picking out that Kevin is a potential nominee when little do they know he's like the mastermind this season. So I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts on Kevin?
I'll have
I
to
need
see.
I need to see it to believe it. I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, the little clips that we're getting, like straight to camera confessionals, whatnot, were just kind of annoying to me.
Yeah,
So not a big fan so far. But listen, prove me wrong, give me opportunity. I mean, and to answer your question for the other thing, I do think they were picking people who seemingly were under the radar
yeah.
or just not making a big splash or well connected. So I understand why those names were brought up. Sure.
So Herman has, like as every head of household is going to, he has some meetings with people, and he wasn't getting anything from anyone. Jonathan, you are an expert at getting players to do what they need to do for your game. What do you think about the game strategy of the multiple people that came through, and then especially Molina and Jess?
Well, I think from his perspective, you need to, when you're having a conversation with someone, you can't go in with the same strategy. You need to figure out them and what they respond to. Sometimes people you need to be like, who should I put up? And you just like, boom, get in their face. Other people you need to kind of like really draw out this conversation. So, I mean, he should have been not using his power as like his position to be like, just tell me what, and use the same kind of tactic towards everyone. I thought it was an opportunity for him actually to connect with everyone and give him safety in the upcoming weeks rather than just kind of give the same kind of like conversation with several people because he wasn't getting what he wanted. And so, change your tune then and like figure out something else. So actually, it showed me more of his game than it did everyone else's. And I thought that was really interesting. And yeah, it makes me question a lot of things. But I have to, on that note, I have to go. So I'm going to leave you to Lovebirds to discuss the rest of the second episode. I will say, though, I'm terrified of balloons, and I did not like that competition.
You didn't like seeing Gino thrust like Jacey-Lynne?
I mean, like overall, if I take my phobia away, I'm like, oh, it's probably a good competition. But I was just, I'm afraid of balloons popping. So it was
All
a little
right, good
traumatic
to
for me.
know. I didn't know
But
this.
anyway,
Okay, enjoy your game, Jonathan. Thank you
bye.
for being here. We'll
Later.
see you
Bye,
Wednesday,
Jonathan.
most likely.
Josh.
Bye.
Bye.
Ciao.
I will say I
So,
agree.
go ahead.
Oh yeah, I agreed with what he was saying though about the HOH. I think that is it Herman? Is his name Herman? Yeah, there we go. Awesome. Yes. Herman, I think, kind of played it wrong with the HOH. I think, yeah, every person is shaped differently with their game and how they work. And he was using the same tactic on everyone. And I don't think that was smart. I think that he should have used this opportunity to really get to know these people. And I don't think he did. I think he just listened to the boys and kind of made it through there and kind of was a little, I don't know, he kind of played it a little, I don't know if cocky's the right word. I don't think it was cocky, but I think a little overconfident.
I feel as though with him, I think that if I were in his position, I would be making friends with these people. I
Yeah.
wouldn't make it seem like I was any different than them, that I was above them. And I think that he was kind of putting distance between himself and the other house guests that
Mhm.
they didn't feel included. They're being kind of interrogated as opposed to having a friendship or maybe building a bond or building an alliance or coming up with something together. He's just like, well, who should I put up? And it's like, I don't know you. Are we friends? Like, what do you mean? Why are you asking me this? Like
We
it
just
made people
dismissed it
feel
now.
uncomfortable because, and it was abrupt, and it was like, he didn't build any relationships with any new people. I don't think that he set himself up, from what I saw anyways, for the weeks to come. I think that almost anybody I could see other than maybe Moose and Josh, if they win, that they might put him up, because like, I don't think that he made any friends in his head of household reign. And so I agree that he didn't play it well at all. I think that he could have done a much, 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 much better job.
Agreed so much. And I think he really should have made the decision for himself. And I feel like he kind of, I don't know, do you feel like he kind of let the other two boys kind of influence him a little bit on the people to narrow it down to?
I mean, I think that it made it easier knowing that he would have some votes that would vote a certain way. And
Yeah.
just from what I saw, they really didn't do a good job with making Herman feel as though they wanted to work with each other, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't think that Jess did a great job. I don't think Molina did a great job. They're just
Mhm.
like, both just like kind of like, and I'm just like, wait, you're supposed to kiss a little butt, Molina. I'm sorry. If you don't want to go up and go home, like make a friend.
I just get the vibe Melina didn't even want to be there. She didn't. I
Well,
don't think
I
it could have.
heard that she was supposed to be on, was it last season? And who was her replacement? Someone was her replacement. I can't remember right now.
Was it
Um,
Austin?
Austin, yes. Somebody, where did I hear this? I heard this somewhere. So
That's
I
what.
heard that Austin was Molina's replacement from last year. So
Oh,
um it seems as though casting really wanted her to be a part of the show. So I don't know if it's because she's a fan or because she's super cool, or she's obviously gorgeous, has a lot of style. But yeah,
maybe
it seems
they're
like they
bringing
were
back
pushing for her.
twins. Maybe
Pardon?
someone's coming back. Maybe she'll come back. You never
It
know.
doesn't seem like it. I think that if she was coming back, Arisa would have said something, I think.
Mm.
Unfortunately. So he didn't find Herman didn't find that anybody really gave him anything. And then it was noms already. I was like, whoa, like it was quite shocking that noms were happening so quickly. And not surprised, but Jess and Molina were the two people that were nominated. Were you surprised?
No, we knew it was coming. I wasn't surprised by either, but it's kind of unfortunate because I feel like Jess has a lot of potential. So I was kind of rooting for both of them. I think both Jess and Molina have potential to be really good house guests and bring the drama.
Totally agree. Unfortunately, I wish that the eviction was a week from now. Just to give us a little bit more time with, Molina, her a little bit more time in the house. I know that they've been in there since Saturday, but I still would like them to have a little bit more of an opportunity to be forced to make friends, because you're living with someone for 10 days. Like, you're going to be talking to somebody except other than yourself, which she does do a lot, apparently. So we
Well,
do see Molina talking to herself in the bed. Kevin comes in and sits on the floor and kind of talks to her. And I thought they were forming like a good friendship. So
I
I
did
was
too.
hoping that him as like a mastermind might have masterminded a way to save her or something like that.
Yes. We are somehow connected with this, Chantele, because I was thinking the exact same thing. I was like, maybe Kevin's trying to bring her in under his side and like make her a loyal number for him. I was hoping for that. I think that could have happened. I think if the replacement nominee didn't happen the way it did, I think that would have happened.
I do. It's fairly unfortunate with how things shook out for Molina. Because I was really hoping that Kevin and Molina would have been able to, he would have helped her. Like, he's not that social, but he's an Aquarius, and Aquarius are really great with lots of different people, humanitarians.
Oh,
And
I'm interested. I think he called you out, Chantele, people that are
who?
into
Oh,
travel.
my heart just skipped a beat. I was like, oh my God, did I say something terrible?
I was like, he's calling out Chantele right off the bat, calling her out.
Well, no, I think that they were putting him and Betty in the house together, and it's because they showed like Betty said like her big three, and then he was like, anybody that believes in astrology is not smart or it doesn't have an IQ or something like that. And I
Well,
was just
Chantal,
like,
I think you have an IQ, and I think you're a genius. So
well,
whatever.
I have been told. But do you know that astrology is mathematics of the stars? So like
I know.
it's quite smart.
It's
But
also so
anyways, that's okay. He's young.
yeah. Is he?
And yeah, he's 27.
Oh yeah, he's a child.
He's pretty young. Like it's like when I was
He's really young.
27,
I thought he was like close to like 42. I thought he was a lot older than
well,
27.
27. Like he hasn't even had his or Saturn return yet, which is like,
Oh,
big news in astrology. So Jess does their best to extend an olive branch to Herman, and that doesn't go over well at all. I don't understand why they were still being combative when they were trying to build a bond, build a bridge.
it was a bad move. They should have just been calm, been like, let's chat, let's get to know each other. I understand it's the first week. You put me up. I understand the first week it's a little different. Let's get to know each other. Let's chat more. And it
Exactly.
just nosedive.
Well, and also Herman was not being receptive to them at all. So they weren't going to work together, and it just made Herman feel as though I need to get Jess out now because we're not able to forgive and forget, we'll say.
I'm not a fan of him. I don't like him.
I'm not sure yet. I'm going to reserve my judgment just because it's the 1st week and people haven't been playing that well so far. So let me give him some more time. But this head of household reign wasn't great.
Okay.
I don't find.
I agree.
So we have the power of veto competition, and so playing is obviously going to be the 2 nominees, which is Molina and Jess, and then the head of household does not play in Canada anymore. We stopped doing that a couple years ago, and Jay, Helena, and Gino will be the 3 players. I guess they're picked at random or house guest choice. We didn't see it. You're gonna,
Got it.
say something. Yeah, they took away the head of household playing because they wanted more likely for the veto to be used if the head of household doesn't win and then just keeps their nominations the same. So they're trying to up the odds there. But I kind of wish it was still in there personally, because I feel like the head of household should be able to protect their nominations.
I agree. I think that, that's the case, but I'm always here for drama. So
yeah, you want it to be used.
I love.
Did you enjoy Moose as the host?
No. I don't like him. I don't like him.
He's kind of annoying. That's all I'm going to say so far. I think that he's annoying.
He is extra,
and he's young. Also young, 24.
I love youngins if they're
smart.
Maturity level he just doesn't have that maturity level. So sorry.
We'll see if I start to vibe with him as he settles in. I think when I pulled cards for him, it was like he's going to be full on for the first few weeks, and then maybe he's just going to chill out and settle down. So that's what he needs to do, because right now, if I were in that house, I'd be like, hey, he needs to go ASAP.
Him and Herman right up on the block together.
So I think that's probably what would happen next for a lot of people. I wouldn't be surprised there at all. So it was a throwback to season 1, this competition. How did you enjoy all the thrusting? Because of course the poker is on the hip area, and they had to pop balloons by making thrusting motions. And inside some balloons were green balls. Once they filled up their canister with 10 balls, they can go and solve their puzzle. So what do you think of the throwback, and what do you think of Gino's thrusting?
So I love a throwback, and I also love Gino's thrusting. Come on, Gino, come on over. Once you get evicted, I will send you my address. You can come right on over from Canada. We're really close to Windsor. It's right there, right across the bridge or tunnel. Come on over, all right? No, but it was...
He's
He's
in Montreal. Or no, he's in Ottawa. So Ottawa's about an hour and a half east of Toronto. So driving wise, it'd probably be like a
hours,
5 hour drive to get to
five
you.
or 6 hours. So come on over, Gino. I will take
Yeah.
good care of you. You're more beautiful than any guys we've had in the US version, I'll tell you that. But
He's really cute. I mean, he's very young for me, but if I was in the house, I would also be cuddling up to Gino.
he's a beautiful man.
I'd be
Beautiful. So
like,
you
okay, I'll
understand.
speak French with you, Gino. Don't
I
worry.
will speak French all day. I don't even know French, but I will. So
So Gino, Jacey-Lynne loves Gino's thrusting. She's getting all hot, and so like the producers want them to get together so badly. And so I actually have them on my draft team. I'm on a few drafts, but for Reality Realness, I have both Jacey-Lynne and Gino and it's called Team. What do I call it? Venus Love, because like it's a love
love
connection right there.
that.
So, against Herman's wishes, Jessica managed to thrust the fastest, get the most ball. Well, I guess Molina thrusted the fastest, but Jess was able to overtake the win and solve that puzzle first.
I was so here for it. Yes.
Here for it.
I love them. I love Jess. I think Jess is drama. I think Jess is going to be like a secret Janelle / Rachel Riley. They are, they're copies. They won. They won when they
Oh,
needed to.
absolutely. I'm so happy that they won 100%. And I feel like it was the puzzle that allowed them to cinch that win. But they did say that they weren't really confident in their physical abilities. So I don't know if they would be like Janelle, just because Janelle was a little bit more well-rounded, but I was all for them winning this competition. I wished a little bit more though, that like maybe somebody took them off, and then like I don't know. I wish that it was harder for Herman to have to do a read-on, you know?
Oh,
Wish it was
agreed.
like I wish maybe like if Kevin won and then took off one of them. And then you know what I mean? I wanted both Molina and Jess to stay is basically what I'm talking about here.
I think both Molina and Jess were really good casting choices, and it was sad that they went up the first week. So the fans aren't going to like Herman so much.
I don't think so.
So much. It's gonna get some hate.
So we do get some moments with Stephanie being a little bit slow on Canadian geography with Moose. So that was a moment. So I wonder if that's going to be an ongoing theme.
Yeah, she reminds me kind of like a Jordan of Jeff and Jordan type thing. But like
Jordan at the time was a little more endearing for whatever reason.
So she's a little size innocent. She's kind of just like, I don't know. The person I'd relate her to is from a really early season of Big Brother, so you probably won't know who she is. Do you remember Holly from season 5?
Yeah. Holly and Jace.
So Holly from season 5 who's like, "Hi, I'm Holly, and this is my mannequin." Like that girl. That's who she reminds me of.
But she's also like Instagram version. You know what I mean? Like, so Holly was a little bit more raw, and like Stephanie's so like kind of polished, but it's bizarre. I mean, I don't know anybody like this, so I don't know what this category of person really is.
I would not want to play with someone that makes me feel like I'm losing brain cells when talking to them, but fair. I would laugh in their face.
Well, she gets a lot of DMs, we hear, so
maybe it's like, educational DMs, like, teaching her the right way and education and all that fun stuff,
So do you agree with Maureen here? If Maureen saw Herman at a dealership, she would run the other way.
I mean, I'm not going to judge him for how he runs his job. I'm sure he's a really good car salesman.
He bought his mom a car, which is nice.
Huh?
Bought his mom a car, which is nice.
He bought his mom a car. I don't judge people how they are outside the house from how they play the game, that's unless you're Tasha Call. No, I don't think that reflects who he is as a person. I'm sure he's a really nice guy, and I think that he probably is really good at his job. So work. I don't dislike him yet. We'll see.
Oh, what was
Maybe
my tarot prediction for Molina? So I need to rethink what this card means. So she got the Ace of Wands. So aces are new beginnings, and wands about passion and creativity. So it was the most positive card out of all of them. So I was thinking that maybe she would get to the end because it was like everybody else had not as positive cards. Go ahead.
aces is either 1 or 11. So first boot or the winner. So you maybe called it.
I guess, but I was saying that I didn't say that she was going to be first boot. I was saying that like it looks like a winning card.
Ooh.
But if I look at it in another way, because like I'm learning how to read cards in terms of game, it's a little bit challenging when like I haven't done it as a lot of times to be like, okay, that means this and that means that.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? To figure out how it works. But I have to say, if you guys go back and look at my final three for the Amazing Race, I actually did call all three positions. So I did like little 1 minute tarot readings for everybody, but those I called the final three in the tarot prediction. So those ones, now I know if I see this sign, this is what this is going to mean. You know what I mean? So Ace of Wands, now I kind of know that it's probably going to mean first boot.
Who did you call as your final 3 for this season?
I think Jess was actually in there. Somebody else had a 3 of cups. Jess had the Justice, and I can't remember now. Oh my gosh, I can't remember. Who had the 3 of cups? Jacey-Lynne had the 3 of cups, and I
Okay.
think another. Oh, and the King of Wands and the 8 of cups in reverse was Gino. So I thought that he might be near the end potentially,
So
but
we have
I'm not sure.
You know what? I'm cool with that final 3. I am all here for it. The hottie Gino showmance and Jess who will end up
And
winning the
Jess.
game. Yes, I'm here for it.
Herman had a decent card, but he had the devil, which means that like having a lot of
Power.
materialism and power and stuff like that. So I'm wondering if I'm just trying to figure out how the lexicon of these cards in terms of Big Brother, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to do another reading after, like maybe when they get to jury. Now that I would know them, I'd know the energies a little bit better and be able to probably read a little bit better. So I will do another reading for all the players.
Love that.
But it's actually really fun. I'm gonna do it for Survivor next. I'm gonna do it for each tribe probably tomorrow.
Ooh.
So lastly, okay, we see Moose suggesting Gino. I was like, you better not. If Gino goes on the block, Gino goes home. Like, I think that people might take that opportunity to turn on Gino. He's
Right.
cute, but
agree.
like there's never the safest pawn. There's no safest
No.
pawn. If you're the safest pawn, that means you should go home.
Stay away from my hottie.
Yeah, stay away. Or Kevin as the read on was his other choice. And Herman takes that to gospel and he renominated Jess with Kevin.
I was kind of excited about it because I kind of would have been cool with Kevin going first.
I have him on one of my drafts, so I don't want that to happen. But and I want to see the Aquarius do well, but he's not in a house with people that he's going to be able to play that well with. There's only one other air sign, that's Jacey-Lynne. She's going to be all hard eyes for Gino, I think.
Is she a Gemini?
And she's a Libra. And then Sagittarius is Helena. And I just don't see them bonding game-wise. So I just don't know if he's going to have anybody to play in the same way that I think that he would want to play. Like, he wants to play a mastermind game, and these people are going to all play emotionally. It's not, So I wanted him to do well, but, like, being the only Aquarius, like, that's going to be hard for him.
Yeah.
Especially since he's not, like, that suave or, like, cool or, you know what I mean? Like, he's a little bit nerdy, so.
He's like the nerdy guy.
One thing that he's doing very well, I would have to say, is a lot of people don't think that he is playing that well, that he knows the game that well. So the fact that people are thinking that he's not that big of a gamer, I think is really working in his favor right now.
Oh, I agree. I think he has potential, but we'll see. I kind of want to see. I want to see where his story goes right now. Still 2 episodes in. We got a lot of these people. We got to find out how they're going to play. I mean, I still want to see a couple summer confessionals. We've yet to get those yet. So Come
They're
on, Summer.
coming.
You do.
They have all their confessional stocks on Summer. Like, I hope it's not on Moose. It's on Summer, right? It's gonna be on Summer. So we do see Molina and Kevin chatting, and Molina's a little bit upset with the fact that she's on the block now with Kevin, but Kevin takes all this information that Molina is sharing with him, that she feels that there's a bigger alliance, that the guys are working together, and with Jacey-Lynne and Stephanie. I think she's actually right, and so Kevin was kind of pushing that aside and being like, I don't think she understands what's going on in the game, but he does spread all this information. So do you think that was a little bit hasty of him to just be blurting all this information when he's still on the
Ugh,
block?
it was shady, but I think I thought it was shady. I thought it was extra, but I mean, you got to do what you got to do to stay. I would do the same thing. He needed to protect himself. He was on the
What if it
block.
blew up, though? It would be so easy for that to blow up.
It could have blown up, and for a second, there was a little ignition between that conversation with Molina and what's her name? And Tanisha. They had that conversation too, where they were kind of figuring him out for a second.
Yes.
I mean, I would have taken that risk. When you're on the block, you got to stay. You got to do what you can to stay in the game. I think if he would have sat there and did nothing, there's a chance that he could have gone home.
I don't think so.
You think so?
But I don't think so, with the fact that Molina was just not playing at all. She was not trying to stay. She kind of was like, I don't want to have to do what it takes to stay in this game. And Kevin was, I think, just doing a bit too much. And I was wondering if he was going to do too much and people would be like, ooh, like he's doing too much here. Like, maybe we should take him out while we have a chance. So I was just worried that he might be overplaying his hand, but the house was fine with it. Basically, we get to the vote and it is 11-2. So Jess and Jay were the two people that voted for Molina to stay. What did you think about that?
I think I can understand why Jess voted to keep Molina, because I think that the two of them may have gotten close through their nominations originally. So there's a chance with that. Or she was just like, screw the house, because Jess gives me that vibe. I guess we'll find out when live feeds go up. Are they up right now?
I haven't checked yet. I feel like they might be, because some people are giving some information here. So
we'll find out. So apparently, we'll find out very soon what was going on there. But the other one, okay, wait, I'm scatterbrained now. What were they? Where am I at right now? Sorry, what was I talking about?
Well, I don't know. You were talking about
okay, the votes. Jay, I don't understand why they voted to keep Molina and go against the majority.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was curious about it. Jess, I feel as though they might have made some sort of promise that hey, you have my vote no matter what, because they were originally on the block together. I was very surprised that Jay was the one that also voted to keep Molina. So surprising, very surprising. Maybe they don't like Kevin.
Yeah, maybe they don't.
Possible. Very possible.
I'm on the borderline with him, so we'll see.
So what did you think about the person that stays from the vote gets an option to win a prize? So Kevin got to pick between door 14, 3, and 19, and there's going to be prizes of $500, $2,500, and $5,000 behind them.
I mean, I'm here for it, and I'm happy with the one that he chose as well. The lowest one.
Well, it's better for him to choose the lowest one, because the people are like, well, he has some money already. Let's get rid of him. So $500, yeah, it's money, but it's not that much money.
Nice.
We don't pay taxes here, so we do get the whole thing. So, well, taxes on prize money. So Kevin got $500. I thought that was fun. Pardon?
I'm on Canada. You don't pay checks on prize money?
Nope. And Miss Erica got to probably get her money back for the taxes that she paid in America, because so she just has to fill some form out and she gets her money back. So she made Canadian 1.3 million as opposed to just 1 million.
So she's the richest under the two double time winners. Good for her. She's
probably basically, because we do not pay taxes on our prize money.
Love that.
So fun. So yes, we lose Molina. The vote was 11-2. It seemed as though Arisa was sad to see her go. I was sad to see her go,
Me too.
but she needed, like, I wish that she had told maybe Michelle that she was going on the show, because Michelle is a really good game player. And so Michelle could have like given her some tips and been like, you have to do this, and this. Like, I feel like she went in underprepared and wasn't willing to do what it takes to learn and figure out the game. And so,
Mhm.
as much as I wanted to see her do better, she wasn't going to win the game.
I I didn't think, honestly, just the vibe I got, even though we've talked about this, I didn't get the vibe she really cared to be there. She was there, she'd be
Yeah.
like, okay, I'm going home, whatever. Like, that's the vibe I got. I didn't get like I'm gonna fight really hard to stay. She was like, meh, I'll go home, whatever. It is what it is. Like, I don't think she's that heartbroken about the fact that she's the first evicted.
I agree. I think that she really wasn't going to do what it took with those group of people, with that group of people to win the game. So
Definitely.
she done. So it seems like Natalie has a little bit of tea here. Oh my god, I just saw Spoiler King, and that Misha and Todrick had a falling out. Well, I did hear earlier on today that Misha unfollowed Todrick. Was that from you, or where did I
Why?
hear that?
Because he's
Where
a
did I hear that?
monster. That man is a monster. Like, that is pure sociopath. Are we surprised that, like, not even acknowledging anything that he did on that show, not even an acknowledgement, not even an apology, and instead starts, oh, back up on my tour. Yes, come to my tour. Love Todrick. Like, he's crazy.
Definitely doesn't have any self-awareness and doesn't really care, it seems, to repair his image
No, he's an
whatsoever. So
evil person.
I guess I'm not a doctor. I can't diagnose, but
Yeah,
I don't appreciate.
I will apologize for saying crazy, because I think that's the wrong thing to say, especially with mental health, and I'm big on mental health. I think that he has some serious narcissistic issues, and I think he is a sociopath. How about that? He's sociopath.
I mean, we can't really call him a sociopath. Maybe have sociopath-like tendencies,
Yes,
narcissistic
he has
tendencies.
sociopathic
Um,
tendencies. There you go.
yes, because we can't really diagnose him, but I do not appreciate how he's handling any of this, and I really wish that he never got on this onto Celebrity Big Brother. He tainted it, and I saw a tweet today that what's her name from Cosgrove? What's her name? She was somebody that was good. She's from something really popular that I don't watch. Was it iCarly? Maybe.
I think
Um,
so, yeah.
Melinda,
Yeah,
Melanie. Anyways,
something. I know you're talking about. Yeah.
anyways, so she apparently said that she doesn't want to be part of the people to be asked to be on the show anymore, because she's not interested in with what that show had to offer. Like, she thought that it was pretty disgusting how Shayna was treated, and she doesn't want to be associated with that show anymore. So
Yeah, they
lose
were.
her number, they basically said.
Yeah, they were. It was evil what they did to Shayna. And I don't think Misha's a bad person, but Todrick, I don't think Todrick's a good person. I've always had suspicions. I've heard from people that know Todrick, like in LA, and have not said nice things about him in the past. There's a lot of rumors that have gone out about him, but I think he showed it. We watched those live feeds. We watched them, so.
When they were on.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh, yes, I know Shayna is pregnant, so we're definitely going to pray for her and the family that there. I was hoping that she would be able to break free from her partner,
Oh
ex-partner,
no, he was a
whomever.
nightmare, that guy. Oh my lord.
But the fact that she's going to be connected with him for, the life of this child is unfortunate. But hopefully it's all going to work out for the highest and best good for everyone involved.
Absolutely.
Well, Josh, thank you for joining me here, recapping the premiere episode that I wasn't able to get to yesterday, and episode 1 with the eviction. It's really great to hear that you're going to be covering the eviction on your channel, Couch Potato Queens.
Yeah.
Sometimes we'll do some collabs, or you'll pop on here if it's not an eviction episode. So that's
Yeah.
great to have you. Do you have any other thoughts about these first 2 episodes before we say goodnight?
Yeah, with that, I decided very recently, me and Justin are going to be covering Big Brother Canada on eviction nights right after the episode. We will go on around 9:05 right when it ends. We're going to follow it this season. We're really excited about it, starting next Thursday. And yes, I will be coming on with Chantele throughout the season. You know, when Chantele wants me to come on, I'm there. Let's work.
Yay.
We love collaborating with our queen. Okay.
Woo, woo, woo. Thanks, Sansorella.
But yeah, right now we are going to be doing Survivor on Wednesdays. Once that premieres, I think that's next week. Next Wednesday is premiere night. So we will be going for Survivor. Alex and Ken do Hey Batch on Tuesday nights. And then Sam and Alec do Drag Race Review on Friday nights. So we have
Fridays,
a lot
back to
planned.
Friday. Back to Fridays.
Yeah.
Sorry, this was some tea here though. That Hi Jolene fan, COVID Chrissy BB23 girl
Yes.
is on tour with Todrick. That is so annoying. She was standing him and really supporting him. Her and Tommy from BB21 were like, oh my God, like he's playing the game. He's just playing the game. And I was like, Tommy, get off of that train because you just lost my stand card. Not that I was, but like,
can we talk about this whole like Whitney versus Big D thing as well? Like there's all this drama with season 23ers. Do you know about this?
Well, from what I know is that she didn't want to go to the party that Ozza was throwing because she had some words about Todrick and didn't really appreciate how he was speaking about Shayna and other people in the house. And then she decided that she wanted to see her BB23 friends, so she made an hour appearance at the party. And Tiffany and Big D weren't pleased by this. Apparently, Tiffany was irritated as well, but Big D or his friend took a picture of her there and then Big D posted like, oh, like you don't want to be here, but like look at that, you're actually here for the party. And then he had some sort of response email apologizing. So that's all I know. Is that the story?
Yeah, it's something like that. But honestly, I'm Team Whitney because I do not understand how the cookout is still defending him and not. It is what? Like, I loved the cookout. I still love them. I still love Queen Tiffany. You can't not love Tiffany and Shada. Like, I love them. They're great. I actually like Highland too. But like, you're gonna take your landlord side, okay? Their landlord side because they all living out of Tydrick's house. They're gonna be dropped within a couple months. You know that. I hope they are ready. I hope they've packed their bags. They're about to be evicted from landlord Tydrick's house because he wants to drop everything.
No, he'll probably send them a bill. Like that's more his style.
Like, living here, they're about to get dropped so hard by this man, this con artist. They have no idea what's about to hit them. He's not going to stay loyal to them. He wants Big Brother in the past. He's not acknowledging it. He wants to pretend it never happened before. So you think he's going to stay friends with all these people? Yeah, right.
Exactly. Well, that's all she wrote in the Big Brother realm of things, I believe. I'm going to go watch all the different updates now. I'm going to go catch up with Rob's a podcast, find Jolie when she comes on. And if Sarah from Nerdtainment is on already, I'm going to watch hers too. So
we love all our girls.
We do. We love them all. Absolutely. So if you can just let people know where they can find you, Josh. I know a lot of people are here through your channel because we're streaming on both Couch Potato Queens and Reality Realists right now. So that's why there's some crossover people and people are kind of like, what's happening here? So if you want to just let anybody else know who you are and where you're coming from.
Perfect. So for those of you that don't know who I am Josh Mendelson. I am with the Couch Potato Queens podcast. That would be Couch Potato Queens. On Twitter, it's Couch Potato QWNC. We did have a viral tweet after finale. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. We got almost 4,000 likes. I felt like a Z-list celebrity for like a second. I loved it. You can follow us on Instagram at Couch Potato Queens, QUENS, or subscribe to our channel, Couch Potato Queens. We have a lot coming. So follow us. There's me, there's Alex. Alex's stuff is there as well. We have a whole family of Couch Potato Queens, so it's fun.
Yay. Amazing. And then hopefully you know the drill, but if you can follow Reality Realness with 3 S's on all social platforms and on YouTube, building this community of people that love talking about reality TV as much as we do. And if you could like this video, that would be great if you're watching it in the replay. And we'd also love to know who do you want to receive this new secret power? Who would you like to see with it? Who do you want to be protected for sure? Like, who is your favorite person that you've seen so far in the house that you want them to get some power? You want to answer?
Jess!
Jess! Jess
Let's
has got to
get it.
get some power and got to get some revenge. Yes, that's who I
Yes!
want. But who do you guys want in the comments? Let us know, and we will, continue this conversation down in the comment box. All right. Anything else, Josh, before we say goodnight?
Nothing else. We're good.
Bye.
Bye, guys.